Let's take a look at how to set up our text adventure project from taking it from the basic template of the code that I've given you to actually starting to type in some things that make it move around and ask the user for some input. So here's where we start. We start with a map location. So map location 1, and then obviously a function for map location 2, and then for every single one you have. So what are the things we want to do inside each map location? We want to output a description or anything that's happening, right? What's the plot when I'm at this place, that kind of thing. We have to tell the user, obviously, what is going on there. Then we can actually ask for the input of action, and then we can decide how to react to the input. So it's basically your classic, tell the user some stuff, ask them a question, and then decide what to do about it. So that's the general thing of what we want to do. First of all, I could come over to my map, and I'll see that when I'm on or you know map location 1, I'm at the beach. So I'm going to do some output and maybe put. I kind of like to do kind of a title of the room or location, I should say, and then I put some descriptions of it. You are washed up on a sandy beach. And I need to say more than that, but that's a good start. So, you know, print more stuff. You should use your imagination there and have some fun. And then, of course, somewhere in that, either in the description or as a last thing, um, you can head north into a jungle path or east down a rocky, what do I call it? Rocky shore. And again, maybe eventually I want it so that they can't go down the rocky shore until they've actually discovered it or something like that. But that we can get into that later, the fancy stuff, right? This is just our basics. So now we want to ask them, okay, here's what you see, here's where you can go, what do you want to do? I always use the variable action, and you only need one action. One of my rules is that you should only put one input statement in every map location. Some people want to say, well, in this location, I want them to do 5 things, so don't I need 5 inputs? It's better, and I'll show you how to treat it like this. It's better to have one action per room, and then the if statements we use will determine what happens with those actions. I find people who try to put multiple actions in one room, it gets really confusing, and then they end up wishing that they had listened to me the first time. So I'm just saying, that's just something that you could, think about doing. What do you want to do? So think about how you want that user experience to be when you run all this. Like you can think to yourself, should I put a space before I ask them the input so so it shows them what's going on, and then it puts a space? Do I want, instead of what do you want to do, just put like action, arrow, so think about how you want that to look for the user. And then we use our if statements. So if the action equals something, you know, we do something. So for me, I know they want to head north or east. So I don't want to do any plot actions yet. I want to make my map work. And once my map works, I can do fancy things. So I want to think to myself, okay, well, what are they going to type? They're going to type north. They might type go north. And then because I'm lazy, I want to think about just typing N so that when I test it, I can just hit N. And if you've played Text Adventures, it's common to just hit those, like an N for north. So the next thing is, well, how do I know that they've done it in lowercase? So there's 2 choices. You can make even more possibilities for capitals and stuff like that. But here's what I like to do. I like to go back to my input, and I just like to say, hey, take the action that they did and lowercase it. If you've used string manipulations, you should know that you can do that. Even further than that, you could say strip the string, the input, with any spaces they may have hit at the beginning or at the end. Get rid of spaces so you don't have to worry about spaces. So that's like kind of cleaning up their input to something that I can simply test with my if statement. So what do we do if they go north? Do we print a bunch of things about what happens when they go north? No, actually, all we're going to do is we're going to go take a look at our map, and we're going to say, they want to go to my map location 2, so therefore I return 2. The stuff we have down here, like the gobbledygook with this big if statement at the bottom, takes care of where they go. It says if the player location is a 2, go to map location 2. And this says when they're at player location 1, it equals their player location equals whatever comes back from the function that we're at. So what comes back is a 2, and then it says, okay, go to room 2 or go to location 2. And so then I can just basically do that same thing, and I'm not going to type them all out for right now. Oops. I can't type. And what on my map is when they go east, it's number 3. So I will return a 3. Now, what if they say other things that might break it? So if I put an else in here, I can create like anything else they type. I don't understand that. Or you could put some more helpful hints, anything you want to do there. And then what I do is I just return 1. Every action needs a return, so that the stuff down here knows where to go next. And so I just return 1, which sends them back to this location again. It prints all this stuff out again, asks them to try again. There are some ways you can fancy that up a little bit so it doesn't print everything every time they get back to the same location. But let's just see now if I run this. Starting location. What did I do? I feel like line 37. It doesn't like my hashtag? Something strange must have. Oh, because I have nothing in my map location 2. Sorry, I should have put pass there just for now. Okay, now I'm like over here. One thing that's a little bit annoying before I do this is that I can't really read this very well because of all the stuff going on here. So there is a way to actually, when I run this, now where did it go? There's a way to expand this out into like its own window, except mine doesn't seem to be showing it right now. But sometimes I get a little arrow that I can like bump this whole thing into its own tab, and then it doesn't have to fit in such a small area. So I guess I'm forgetting how to do that right now, but I thought there was just sometimes a little icon up there. So maybe you can see it and I can't. So here's my little intro. They're on the beach, and of course what I want to do is I want to eat clams. And it says I don't understand that, and so it shows me the beach again, and now I have my action. Okay, well, I want to go north. So I say N. Now, nothing's happening. In fact, it's running forever. And that's just because I haven't told it what to do when I reach map location 2. I've just said pass right now. So now it would be good for me to take everything I've done in map location 1 and paste it into map location 2, and then say, okay, map location 2 is a jungle path. And then map location 2 here is stuff about the path. And then you can head south to the beach. And then we ask them to say their action again, and this time, if they go south, so I just have to change all these over. And then I want to send them back to 1, and there is no east, so I just take that one out, and if I don't understand something, I send them back to 2 because I'm at map location 2, so it will redo the jungle path. And so that's all I really have to do. If you go through your map and create that for each one and say, see, a jungle path I have to add, like climb tree would return 8 for this tree, and then east would be the clearing, and then I would create number 3, the rocky shore, and I can go west, east, or north. And then in number 5, I can go north, west and south, and et cetera, et cetera. I create every single one of those, and then when I play the game, I can literally walk around my map and see things happen. I can't do much. I can just walk around my map because then, the next step is we go into this code and we start adding fun things like searching rooms or, you know, being able to unlock things and stuff like that. But if you start with just, hey, I can move around my map and I can go anywhere in my map and kind of follow the path, that's kind of fun to just get that far. And then you think, now how can I complicate it? So that's how you do all this and have fun doing it, and then come back and watch how to complicate it.